Imagine you're a composer writing a theme, and you have a musical idea in mind. Something simple like this. The obvious question that arises is what to do next. You really have two choices. You can either repeat the idea in some fashion, or you can do something new altogether. These two options lie at the heart of musical form in the classical style, and this video focuses on the first option in the context of a theme type known as the sentence. For the sake of analysis, we take it as axiomatic that most themes in classical music begin with an idea that is 2 measures long, called a basic idea. In a situation where this basic idea is repeated immediately, we end up with a 4-measure unit called a presentation. In effect, the composer is presenting the idea to the listener by repeating it right away. Because this immediate repetition demands that something else follow in measures 5 onward, presentations function as musical beginnings, and as such, by definition, do not end with a cadence. Presentations are supported instead by a harmonic progression that prolongs tonic harmony. Here's an abstract model of a presentation with various possible harmonic underpinnings. In this presentation, the basic idea is repeated more or less exactly, with a slight variation in the upper voice. Notice that the harmonic progression is the same both for the basic idea and its repetition. In this presentation, on the contrary, the basic idea is stated first over a progression that leads from tonic to dominant, and then over a progression that leads back from dominant to tonic. Both examples exhibit a harmonic stability suitable to a beginning by emphasizing tonic harmony. In contrast to beginnings, middles express a sense of instability, an amping up of musical excitement, a sense that we're on the move, so to speak. Composers use specific features to express this sense of motion and destabilization, and in general, it's helpful to identify 4 specific techniques: fragmentation, an increase in harmonic rhythm, sequential harmonies, and an increase in surface rhythm. The first of these features relates to grouping structure, that is, how we divide music into smaller chunks. If a basic idea is a 2-measure unit, and the ideas that follow group into 1-measure units, we can speak of fragmentation. The same would be true if our initial group were 4 measures long, and subsequent groups were 2 measures long. The second feature relates to the speed at which harmonies change. If my 2-measure idea is supported by a single harmony, and subsequent measures each have their own harmony, we can speak of an increase in harmonic rhythm. The third feature relates to the type of harmonic progression at play. Sequential progressions spin out indefinitely until a composer decides to stop, sort of like getting on a train and being able to get off at any station. For this reason, sequences are well suited to continuations because they're unstable. The fourth feature relates to how fast notes move on the musical surface. If a melody is built primarily with 8th notes, and then moves to a steady stream of 16th notes, we can speak of an increase in surface rhythm. Any one of these features is sufficient to express the sense of being in the middle of something, of being in a continuation. So what about endings? In general, composers use cadences to end themes. A cadential progression often lasts 2 measures and always contains 5 or 5/7 in root position. Taken together, a sentence is made up of 3 formal functions: presentation, continuation, and cadential. Presentation function stands alone as the first half of a sentence, but the continuation and cadential functions are often fused together into the second half, such that it's difficult to tell where one begins and the other ends. When this fusion occurs, we refer to the entire second half as a continuation. Here's an example of a sentence with its constituent formal functions labeled.